Hey guys, this is Jaybird from UGX Mods, and I'm actually going to be showcasing, instead of like my typical videos of just showcasing how I do mapping, modding, and all that, I'm actually going to be just texturing one of my models. So this is a Gersch device, an updated Gersch device that I made months ago. I textured it with an older version of Quixel back then, and I didn't exactly like how it turned out. It did look okay, but I wanted to just kind of go from scratch and start over, and I figured why not show you guys how I do this. So this is actually a plugin for Photoshop that I paid for, and it's quite easy to work with. So as you can see right here, I have the model in like a 3D view. I've also got some more tools here that I can play around with. So I'm gonna just kind of set up like my base scene first. I usually like to set it up like it's an Unreal Engine scene, because the textures for Unreal seem to work pretty well. I can move around the lighting, change different skyboxes and whatnot, but I think I'm just gonna go with the base stuff here because I'm just trying to texture it, nothing too fancy. So I'm gonna start off by just holding Shift and pressing C to bring up the material identity that I created. It's just a quick material that I made that it's just base colors, so I can select different parts and color them separately. So I can go with like this green section here and start adding a material. So let's see if I can find a nice metal. Give it a sec. There it goes. Alright. I was thinking just like a flat metal with a little bit of shine to it, like maybe even like a brass. That might be cool. Yeah, so there's lots to choose from here. It expands upon the Dedo Legacy Edition that I used before. That's not bad, actually. Maybe I'll go with that. I might want to open up just on my second monitor here, just a picture of like the old Gersch, just to get an idea of the color scheme, because I do want it to match that. Maybe a bit too yellow. I might want to bring that down a bit. So I'm just going to bring up on my second monitor here the Gersch device, and then I'll just be able to get a good representation of what I'm going for. Alright. Yeah, so I'm just going to use this picture here. Alright, so it looks like it's a bit duller, less of a yellow, so I'll change the color there, go for a bit brighter, not as dark, and update that. I'm going to add all this grime and stuff to it later, but I think that's okay. And the upper part here was more of like a grayish yellow, like it's more like brown. So I'll start off by just putting all my base materials in here and just see where it goes from there. So I'll do another metal, and this time let's go for something a bit flatter, a bit darker. I could go with one of these ones actually, that looks pretty good. Maybe more scratched up. Yeah, let's go with the scratch one. And then that should look pretty good. Might tweak it around a bit, but that was about the base color there. Actually, now that I think about it, the yellow is still a bit too bright. So I'm going to bring that down a bit more. Let's go into the base yellow that I was doing before. Let's go with, there we go. Now it's a bit too dull. See, you gotta play with this stuff and get it right. A little time consuming, but the end result is what we care for. That doesn't look bad. It does look kind of brand new with all that, but like I said, I'm gonna add some grime to it later. I like the dark metal there. This looks pretty cool. Okay, what else do we got to put some base materials on? This part. So pink is more of the dark gray stuff again. Do a bit of variation on that. The red's gonna be kind of a orangey yellow metal. So we'll do that really quick. We'll just pick out. It's kind of a bit shinier than the rest of it, so I'll probably go with something a bit shinier. Yeah, there's a really dull there. Like this was the one we used before. I could just go with that and just tweak the color. Yeah, I think I'll do that. We'll just go with the yellow that we went with before, and then I'll just tweak it so it looks a bit better. So change it to a bit of an orange. There we go. That's not bad. We'll get some cuts and scratches all over it later. Yeah, so these are going to be the lights. I can't remember. Did I have that in the actual material? I'll have to look at that later. Every time I move this window, it gets rid of my post-processing. That's kind of interesting. Things to note, Quixel. Things to note. Alright, the clips. I actually can't see that in my picture, my reference picture there. Huh. I'm gonna have to wing that, but I'm guessing it's probably... Yeah, I'm just looking through a couple more images right now, and I don't see any actual side images of that, which kind of sucks. Okay, I'll probably go with more of a steel for that, and darker metals down here. Yeah, yellows look good down there actually. That's pretty cool. Okay, yeah, pink is probably gonna be plastic actually. Yeah, I'm gonna go with plastic for the pink areas. So let's see if we can find a nice plastic. Nothing too flat. I'm not a big fan of flat textures, especially in next-gen games. Everything's shiny in next-gen, right? So let's keep it shiny. And we don't have to worry about the colors too much. I can always tweak that after, but if I find something that looks nice, like these materials look pretty good, I can always go with it now. Oh, one sec, I gotta back out of this material and do that again. But yeah, I can always change the color after, because like these plastics I was looking at down here, where was it? Was that the one? No, it was this one, the shinier one. I can always make it like a darker, because it was almost like a dark grayish tannish color. Like when I'm looking at this here, all this in here, it's kind of like a dark gray. So yeah, it looks funny with green. Let's see. Probably something like that. Come on, update. I'm gonna go darker than that actually. It's too brown. I'm picky. I'll get it though. Almost too shiny now that I think about it. It's too next gen. Oh, now it's too gray. Oh god. That even change? I didn't even notice any difference. Huh. Just a little bit darker. Okay, I think that should be good. Got that down. What was this bolt? It was blue. So all these things are blue. So I think we're going with steel for that stuff. So let's back out of that material and we'll go with blue and we'll make that a steel. I think that might be our best one. All these ones are like really dirty, and it's too dirty in my opinion. Like, I know I want to scratch them up and make them all grimy looking, but if it's just a bolt, I could probably just go with like a plain metal. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm just gonna go with this. I don't know. What? See, now I'm kind of torn here because this is really shiny, really dark, but I've tried this material before. It never showed up properly. So I'm thinking, you know what? Let's just go with it and we'll see how it goes. I think I'm gonna make it a little less, or a little darker there. Maybe a little less shiny. I also don't like the dirt map that they got on it. I might just get rid of that altogether. No, it's too smooth. Okay. You know what? Since I can't undo that, which is kind of stupid, I'm gonna just reapply it so I get the dirt back, and I'll just make it a bit less, a bit more transparent so it doesn't look as bad. So we'll do the steel again. And then back to the dirt. We'll just make that a bit more transparent. Huh. Must be the roughness that's affecting it or something. The metalness, maybe? No. Oh, it is. Oh, look at that. That's not bad. That almost looks like real metal. Okay. What did it look like on here? Oh, they had some sort of decal on there. Like a groove going across the middle there. I could do that with Endu. So right now what I'm using is something called Dedu. Oh, the blue did the top there too. I might need to make it much darker then. But yeah, like I'm using something called Dedu, which is this is to make all the maps at the same time. So that's color map, normal map, metallic map, roughness map, like all this stuff up here. The Endu will allow me to edit normals more dramatically, so I can like go in and put like little grooves and texts and stuff like that all over it. That's not bad. I'll put some decals on there to match the top of the Gersch, because yeah, they got little arrows kind of pointing out. So we got that. It's kind of coming along now. What was the bottom? The bottom was pink. Okay, so that's already textured. Oh, yeah, sure enough, that was part of the steel map that I had there. This is all steel. What's that? Okay. Okay, now I think we're almost done giving everything their base map. So this was red, so we'll give this a plastic. Bit too dull of a red. Bit too shiny of a red. You know what, I'll go with the dull red and I'll just make it a bit shinier. Obviously the dirt on it looked like crap too, so I'll fix that up. Ugh. Yeah, no. Okay, well, you know, it's a bit shinier, I guess. I don't know. Probably when the light hits it at a certain angle, it'll probably look okay. Don't like the shade of red, though. Might change that. A bit darker. Okay, so we got the red switch. We got some lights to do still, right? Those are lights. These are green. That one's red. Hopefully I had those as two separate materials. Although these ones are black for some reason. I think one of my materials are messed up here. Huh. That's interesting. Let's get out of this. These would be glass, so let's go with a glass texture. Just a plain old glass. And we'll just change it to like a red color to kind of get it the tint. And in game, what I'll end up having to do is have oh, I saw the reflection. It's like a building here. That's funny. Must be the skybox from the Unreal thing. Yeah, it's the building there. But yeah, so the lights I'll end up having to do effects on in Black Ops 3. So we'll go and change this to a red. I'm gonna make that darker. Alright, that's not bad. It'd be nice if I could select this green light. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Can I do that? Maybe I can. Maybe I can. Okay, let's do the glass again. Learn to spell. So I'll set that up as green. Oh yeah, this one's red. Okay, so hopefully those... Yeah, there we go. Okay, so it worked. And I got these ones as well, so I'll make this one green. Just more effects I gotta make in Black Ops 3. Okay, so we got some lights going. I'm probably gonna change that up because that kind of looks just plain and dull as hell. Probably add some trim or something. I don't know. I'll get to that. I will get to that. I think everything's got a texture now. That's nice. Now for the more intricate stuff. Yep. Just one more last check on that yellow, because oh yeah, they got the stripes on that. Okay. What part in the texture is that? That's this here. Okay, so I'm gonna have to manually add in some. Ooh. Oh, I see what it did. The green, it didn't select just green. It selected everything that was black on my material map. So that's why all the green's here now. It was probably this circle right here that I was trying to do. So what I'll end up having to do for that green, was that green? Yep, black. I'll have to manually paint in the mask for it. Okay. So we'll start off with just a blank black mask, and then I'll go in and just paint it on. Oh man, hopefully I don't mess up this. Okay, let's just go full on. Oh god, I know I'm gonna mess this up. Oh, before I do mess it up, I'll put some undos on. I'll do like 30 of them. Good enough. Okay. Yeah, this is the boring stuff. Hand painting it. Might as well just be back in Photoshop or GIMP doing this on the actual texture. But you know, it's gotta get done. And I'm too lazy to go back and actually go into the material file and see what the hell is wrong with it. So, should be good. Just gotta make sure I don't mess it up and get it all over the rest of the model. That's why I'm kind of going careful here. I'm like a kindergarten student right now trying to color within the lines. Except, if this was kindergarten, I'd probably be getting an F for my terrible drawing and coloring skills. I can model, I can map, I can script, but I can't color. Okay, you know, that's almost good enough to me. Because, you know, that's like 1 pixel difference, so, you know, I'm pretty sure nobody's going to be able to tell that in game. Okay, so we got the green on there. Green lights look... Oh, crap. I do have to go further. Okay. Here we go. Again. Should have looked at which ones it was affecting more. Okay. Yeah, it's... Oh my god, I'm on the negative. It's similar controls to Photoshop. So, like B to scale the brush and whatnot. Although, I'm not a Photoshop guy. I'm not a texturing guy. That's why I got Quixel in the first place, because I suck at texturing. I don't usually have the patience to do it, but you know, Quixel's pretty handy, so I'll give them that. And Mac, if you're watching this, yes, this is way better than Substance Painter. Okay, almost done. Yeah, I guess if this is on the front face, they're probably going to notice a bit more, so I'll have to be a bit closer to the edge. Make sure I colored it in a bit better. God, my kindergarten teacher would be so upset with me. Alright, you know, good enough. Good enough. You guys won't complain, will you? I hope not. That's all I get. Okay, so I think all that's left are the... Yeah, so that should... Yeah, you notice how we just got the... Oh, I thought it was over here. But yeah, we got the green light there now. Huh. A little bit of green there. Hopefully it doesn't... I didn't see anything on the model there that was showing up green, so... I think that's okay. Okay, oh, probably should be doing this over on the actual monitor that's recording. Alright, so I think it's about time we start going into detailing the yellow part here, so that's under our green mask. Okay, so what do we want to add? It looks like they got rust all over this, so we'll go with some rust. Just some base rust. They had more of this orangey rust, kind of dirt looking, but I do like this. Might venture off of their texture a bit, so I can have mine looking a bit more detailed, a bit more realistic, because I don't like that orange rust that much. I'm kind of confused. This doesn't look like the rust that I selected. This kind of looks like a crazy metal. Alright, what do we want? We want to make this darken it? Is that what we're doing? Why is it green? That's weird. Oh, it's probably because it's blue and yellow. I get it, yeah. Oh, I know colors. Okay. You know what? Let's just try to apply it to certain areas. Okay. So I'm gonna create like a mask on this, though. These masks, I've got to say, work like 10% of the time. So I don't know what Quixel's doing to generate these things, but god damn, do they ever suck. Like, I might end up having to hand paint this on. Like, what's it even doing? I don't even notice it anywhere. Huh. Might come back to that one. I just realized, is that a corner of my model just textured with a different thing? Huh, it is. That's weird. I'll have to fix that on the model. UV mapped wrong. Okay. You know what, I'll go with this, but I'll just edit it and get rid of a lot of the dirt in the wrong spots. So we'll go with one of my favorite brushes. Looks like a skull for some reason. I don't know why. It caught my eye the first time I loaded up Quixel. And we'll just get rid of this in here. I'll have it come down the top a bit, but not too much. Oh, I'm clicking wrong buttons here. X, that's the button I'm looking for. Oh yeah, we're still on full blast. Okay, so we'll kind of rust in the top there. Because they got some rust overhanging along the top. And they had some more along the bottom as well. We'll try to wrap this around the edges as well, so it'll kind of be like a trim around the edges. Just like mapping, you gotta detail everything, every aspect. But you know, it's the end result that all that matters. So we'll go in and just kind of like do the same thing here, just kind of go around the edges, give it a little dirt and grime, just all around. Looks like I kind of cheated with the UV mapping here. Oh my god, I'm clicking the wrong buttons again. Just do all the sides, get in there and kind of give it some edges and whatnot. It'll kind of make it stand out a bit better and not look all plain. It's kind of the idea that I'm going for right now, is just to break up the monotony of the texture. And that is one ugly ass line we got going there. I think that's not bad. I'll probably go for some scratches next. So obviously this is a bit too noticeable. I'm gonna kind of like make it a bit more transparent so it's not too a bit less. There we go. I think that's pretty good. We could probably bring the roughness. Oh, the roughness is pretty high. I could bring it up a bit higher because I don't think rust is that shiny. So I'll break up the shine when it gets to the rust. It's not looking too bad. Kind of looks like little blotches on them. It's pretty cool. And then, yeah, we'll go with our scratches next. So what I like to do for this is just make a new layer and just make it completely white. And then that way, I can have like a scratched up material. So I'll get hopefully the mask creator thing will work this time and get like a better looking mask going. So we'll make this like completely metallic. Actually, we'll probably bring it down a bit because we do want the white to show through. And then we'll make this extremely dark for the roughness. Let's go with somewhere around there. That'll be our scratch material. And then we'll make it really sharp when it gets to the cuts. So we're gonna which one's my, oh yeah, that's my dino mask. Okay, so it's the mask here. I'll edit this and make all the scratches look good. Okay, they got a few scratches sort of masks on here, but I'm not too sure how it's gonna come out. We'll see. Let's try a couple other ones. It's almost like we need more of it. That's not bad. Got some little scratches going on there. I don't even have a curvature map. I don't even know why I'm playing with that. Contrast. What is that doing to it? Contrast. Nothing. Okay then. Nope, we want that down. Okay. Ooh, god, too much. I think we'll go with this. I know it's a bit much right now, but I'll do the same thing as the rust, and I'll make it kind of transparent. There we go, some light scratches, although got some pretty heavy ones that don't even make any sense. Like, when is that gonna ever happen? Alright, I'm gonna go in there and manually edit that and just kind of erase that out because that scratch doesn't look right. Okay. We'll just get rid of that. We can leave some of it, like, you know. I think that's okay. But anything that's kind of going up over that doesn't look right. So we'll go with that. Anything else? How are the legs doing? Kind of clean it up a bit. I don't think that's too bad. Alright. I think we're getting pretty close with our metal texture. We could add a little more dirt along the edges. And you know what? I think I might go with that red rust after all. But I'll change the color slightly. So we'll go back to our rust. And this stuff is going to be just to kind of enhance our other rust. I'm going to scale that down. Looks too thick. Looks like dog food or something. That looks pretty good. And then we'll go in and change the dino mask like everything else. And hopefully this will look good. So we'll go with, let's go with sand maybe. I think that's what we went with last time. Yeah, I want it more along the edges. So I think acid kind of does the edges, doesn't it? Apparently it does nothing. Okay then. Yeah, a lot of this is just kind of guess and check work, because I have no idea what I'm doing, to be honest. I just kind of play around with it until it looks nice. So I'm sure there's a lot of people who know how to use Quixel out there are probably laughing at me right now. But you know, you gotta start somewhere. Yeah, I don't really want it on the legs that much. Okay, we'll do the same idea. I might change the color to be a little less red. A little more dirt-like. And then we'll go in and probably make this, do we want it multiply maybe? It's a little too black, so let's try darken and see if it keeps its color. Yeah, it's not bad. Do the same idea, take down the transparency a bit. I think the normal map's gotta come down because I don't like the bumpiness of it. That's not bad. Not bad at all. We still need our lines on the top there, but I will get to that. Yeah, the texture's looking pretty good in here. Looking beat up as hell. Yeah, it's gonna be some beat up looking Gersch device, isn't it? As if it's been left in the closet because it never got to be used in Black Ops 2. It's been sitting in there since Black Ops 1. Alright. I think I'm going to try to make a decal to go and be our caution sign there. So that's going to be all along here. So that's the nice thing about Quixel, is it's still treated as Photoshop. So I can create a layer in Photoshop and have it so that it will be, call this lines or something like that, and we can kind of go in and create some actual lines along here. So I'm going to just first of all trace out our area that we're going to be drawing on. Do I want polygon? Yeah, that's probably the one that I want. So we'll go here, here. You can tell how uncircular this really is when you look at the texture. Especially since I can select points, actual physical points around it. Okay, so then what we're going to do is within that area that we just selected, we're going to, let's see, still kind of not the best Photoshopper here, so I think I'm just going to go and select a paintbrush maybe. That is not my paintbrush. Brush. What do we want? What did I do? Oh god. Okay. We need something that's a bit more like a square, if we have any brushes like that. I'm sure there is brushes, but, you know. Actually, if I just go with a plain old circle, I could probably... Yeah, let's size this up a bit. I think our... Yeah, okay, we got black. Why am I not having color here? Huh. Okay then. Huh. I'm a little confused right now. Anybody who knows Photoshop want to tell me why that's not working? I might just jump over to GIMP because I'm that lazy. So I'm just going to throw in my material map from the actual the material map that I baked out for the model, and I'll end up just working off of that in Quixel because I know a hell of a lot more with Quixel than I do with Photoshop. So yeah, this was the material map that I made before, and we got this green section here that we're going to be working with. So I'm just going to create a new layer, and then let's get some, we'll just go black, and how about, yeah, that'll probably, how big are the lines? Wow, they almost got like a normal map to it as well. Alright then. Nope, we probably want to go with a brush instead of a pencil. Yeah, that's much smoother. Holy crap. Oh man, come on. I can get this. Come on. Oh my god, so close. So close. Oh my. Okay, let's just try about there. I think that's good enough. Alright. What other... While I'm in here, I might as well just kind of look around and see what other decals are going on. They got a little bit of writing here. Although I can't make out what it says. I could just kind of make up my own thing. We got our arrows to do, so why don't we do our arrows? It's gonna be just one quick arrow right here. I think how I'm gonna do this is just create a new layer here. We'll go with, it was a bit of a red, and then let's do about here, 45 degrees. Actually, you know what? Probably be easier for me to just do the arrow like this, and then I'll just kind of rotate it into place because it's a lot easier if it's just horizontally. So I'll duplicate this, flip the layer down because I want this to be completely symmetrical, and I lost my arrow. There it is. That's kind of a cool looking arrow. Kind of looks like Black Ops 2 as an arrow. What was their arrow like? They just kind of had like a hollowed out arrow. I don't know, maybe I'll go with my style. That's kind of cool looking. Alright, let's rotate this into place. Wrong tool. Okay. What's that, 130? 135? Oh wait, this is supposed to be rotated outwards like this. So it's 45. Yeah, maybe 45. Get it right on the money. We'll just put this into place. They also had some white text on the... just on here too. Can't make out what it says, but you know, I could probably write something really quick. Or if it... I don't even know if it matters, to be honest. So we got our decals there. Anything else? Any other decals I can see? Just some small text stuff, and all that I can really do in Quixel. So I should really work on my Photoshop skills so that I can do all this stuff in there without having to go and export maps from GIMP. Kind of makes it a bit of a pain. Come on. Beeping at me. Alright, let's see. Decal. So let's slap that decal on. Alright. Okay. And let's have a look. Well, our arrows aren't showing for some reason. That's odd. But we got our little grid lines. Not exact. Since I kind of got it flipped here, you can see it's doing this little pattern here, like arrows. But you know what? I say good enough. I don't know what you guys say, but I say good enough. Okay. We still need to figure out what the hell's going on with our oh. Oh. That's the spot I was supposed to have it in. Okay then. I can at least do this much, can't I? We've got to rasterize this. Rasterize. And then we'll rotate this around, or flip it, or whatever. Edit. Transform. rotate 180, and then we'll just throw this right in here. Whoa. Okay. That looks good to me. Reload that. And what do you know? It's all off. Huh. Guess the material's not lined up that well. Okay, I'm just going to kind of move this around a bit to get an idea of where it's supposed to go. That is not too bad when I look at that. That's pretty centered. Almost got like a square look going there. So I think what I'm going to do is, since that decal's a little too bright, I'm going to just... So this was the lines that we had, and this one was our... Wait, was that our lines? Yep. Okay, awesome. I might actually burn that into it. Let's see how that works. Darken or burn it. I don't see any difference. Okay, whatever. Alright, let's see our arrows. Yeah, way too bright. Let's try darkening it. Oh, that's not bad actually. That almost looks like it's part of the metal. Okay then. I think I'm gonna make it a bit more transparent. So let's do, bring that down a bit. I think I got that. I think that's good. I don't know. It's starting to look like a Gersch device, isn't it? Okay. What else do we got to do? I do have a decal I made for that a while ago, so what I can do is just throw that in there. What did I call it? Tag? I think I called it tag. So we'll just slap that in. Apparently it wasn't a PNG, so it's got... Oh man. Okay, we'll rasterize this and select the back. Delete that. And load that up. What do we have? Huh. Could have swore. Huh. Okay, so I'm gonna just kind of move this around and see why it's kind of all over the place there. It's probably somewhere up here. I'm just gonna stick it there and just see if it pops up on the model. Yep, sure enough. Look at that. Way off. Okay, so it's the part that says Gersch. Okay, so it's supposed to be up in this area here. So I think what I'm gonna do is just kind of cut this off of there so that I now have it selected more as the actual thing, and I'll scale it down. It's too bad you can't move it like in GIMP. Maybe you can. Maybe I'm just being ignorant. Well, I almost got it lined up perfectly, but it's upside down. Kind of hard to read that. Also got to shift somewhat to the, well, down a bit. So I'll go shift that down, and then I'm gonna flip it to transform. Flip horizontally. Reload that, and then we'll see how that looks. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay, we're gonna flip it vertically too. Transform, flip vertically. And oh, forgot to refresh. Boom, there we go. Okay, so we got a bit of a decal going there. It's a bit plain, if you ask me. I'm also thinking it might be a good idea to kind of just go in and select this, and then all of this, and I'll go through all the different maps and just kind of Wait, is it still selected? Oh, it doesn't select like that. That'd be nice if it did. What I could do is paint this in with a color on a new layer and just copied it over to the different textures. So I'll cut that and then go to the metal, and then we gotta drag this to the top. If I can, okay, I'm gonna name it so I know what it is. Label, something like that. All the way up, there we go. Oh god, it didn't keep the, it did not keep the actual position. Well, as you can see, I almost got it there. Slightly off. Nope, wrong way, wrong way. Almost there. Oh, almost there. Just pixels off. Let's do about 6 and 2 or something like that. Let's see that that works. Oh, no, I'm way off. Oh man, it's gonna be a lot of back and forth. Oh man, why does it keep switching that? Oh, look at that, look at that. Got it. Okay, so I can adjust that one layer now. Actually, I could probably keep this on the screen while I do that. And let's go for a bit less of a metal, and we will apply that. And I'll probably make it a bit shinier as well, so I'll go into the roughness and do the same thing. Oh god, we gotta do the lining. Label. Bring this all the way up to the top again. At least we're not working in the complete dark this time. Okay, let's see. How well that lined up. A bit closer than last time, that's better. Oh wait, I'm going the wrong way, aren't I? Yeah. Okay. Oh, close. Look at that. Okay. Got a roughness on there. The whole tag's looking pretty good now. Not some flat texture anymore. Although, I could have made the text into a normal, but I'm not going to bother with that. Okay, so we got that label, we got our decal, we got our caution lines. We can add some text on the top there. So when we go back to the albedo map, also known as the color map, and that's this area right here. We got that ugly scratch in the way though, so why don't we get rid of that? That was green. We should call it scratches so we know what it is. Go back into the mask, and we'll get rid of that little area because I want to put the text there and the scratch is kind of in the way. It doesn't really make any sense to have the scratch right where I want to put my text. So we'll go in and just get rid of that line. Okay, and now we freed up that space. We can add a new layer if it lets me. Okay, new layer. We're gonna go text, and I don't know, I'll just write Gersch device, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know what to write in these things, to be honest. Oh god, how big? My font is huge. Gersch device. Okay, I'll probably make it bold because it's not really standing out that much. And we'll go with a white. And it's backwards, of course it is. When is this ever easy? Flip horizontally. It's also not really centered, is it? There we go. Can name it something else if I need to. I don't know. Because Gersch device seems a little cheesy. They have like 2 lines of code on, or not code. God, I'm thinking like a scripter right now. 2 lines of text there. They also got a second one down there. And a caution sign. Huh. Okay. So I could just make the font a bit smaller, and I could write some gibberish, just letters and numbers to make it look like it's a serial code. So why don't we just do that, just gibberish our way through. And then we'll make a second line to make it a bit better. Oh, I see. Whoops. Because our font's backwards, left is right, right is left. And yeah, that's just, Gersch, whatever. And then let's set, oh my god, why is this not selecting? There we go. Everything's backwards, so it's throwing me off. And then, what was I gonna do? Make it a bit smaller. And then, there was one more thing. One more thing. Oh god, what's happening? What is happening? I created a new text layer. What the hell just happened? Let's go left, and then we'll shift this back over, and we'll see how it looks. It's not too bad. We could add one more line of this down in here, just to get the idea of some random text and whatnot. They just had one line down there, so I don't need this second line. And we'll do something like, I don't know. Maybe I'll put Jaybird in there. That'd be kind of interesting. But nah. I'm so bad at coming up with what I want to write on it. I can do all this texture stuff, but I can't do this. How about everything would be written in Russian anyways, so it's not like I could come up with all this. Although I could Google Translate something like, give me 2 seconds here. Anybody who's Russian, tell me if you can read this. Obviously it's backwards, but here, 1 second. I'm just gonna center it a little bit more. Tell me if you can read this. I know nothing about Russian, but you know, there we go. Okay. I kind of like how the dirt matches with this caution sign there. It's kind of cool. Oh dear lord, what is that? Our sign. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Apparently I textured the foot of this thing wrong. Well, I'm not going to bother with retexturing and moving the texture around. What I'm going to do is in the model actually just move this over to like somewhere here. That way it's using up base metal and not the actual part there, because that's kind of stupid that I did that. Oh, damn. Well, anyways, I think that's looking pretty good. I might do some touch-ups myself, but this was just kind of a show off like how I've been doing a bit of my texturing for my models. Bit of a longer process, bit of a just playing around here, you know. I usually work at them part by part and kind of give it a go here and there. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Feel free to subscribe and check out more tutorials and future videos in the future.